I want to walk you through what you need to do daily, weekly, monthly in order to guarantee success. And you may want to write these 4 words down because they'll make you millions of dollars in commissions over your career. Who do you know? I would teach you my formula. That's the magic formula for dominating online networking. Here's a little secret: not everyone likes you. But guess what? That's okay. Take this, commit to it for the next 12 weeks. And I promise you, after 12 weeks, you will see such drastic improvements. Your only question will be, why did I not do this sooner?
Welcome to the Originators Blueprint for Success. We have a great guest today. He has already done some wonderful things with us at AD, and we're excited to have him on here and share what he can share with you, his tips and insights. So let's talk a little bit about the agenda. Um, I'm going to talk a little bit about AD Mortgage just to bring some of you up to speed if you're not familiar with us. And then we'll dive right into letting our speaker work his magic. And I think you'll really be excited to hear all the things he shares. He's going to talk about top 10 activities. He's going to talk about some of the ways that he manages and suggests managing theme days and follow-ups and other daily habits that are going to make you a peak performer. So really, it's a pretty exciting agenda. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about AD. Next slide. So we've been in the industry for 20 years. We're top non-QM, a top non-QM lender in the United States with over 8,500 brokers that partner with us. We're highly rated on Google and Trustpilot, and we really specialize in servicing all types of loans. We have over 20 different programs. Although we are distinguished in non-QM sphere, we also handle conventional and agency loans, government loans as well, and we have just a plethora of programs for you. We also have a great loyalty program. We'll talk about that a little bit towards the end before I let you go. But our story, we've been around 20 years. We've expanded nationwide rapidly. We do our wholesale operations are continuing to grow, and that growth is really spurred on by the help of our sister company, which is Imperial Fund. And this fund, this asset management fund, was specifically created just to help us fund more loans. It's backed by Wall Street credit lines, and it really gives us the flexibility to fund and service all your loan needs, which is really one of the things that separates us. But our footprint, if you weren't familiar, we're everywhere in the United States, just about. Still working on Hawaii and Massachusetts, but we do operate from coast to coast. You'll notice that some of these have states have an asterisk by them. It just means the license is not required for business purpose loans, but we're everywhere, so we can take care of all your needs no matter where you're located. So our speaker today is Dustin Owen, and he's a pretty remarkable guy. I'm just going to share some of the highlights of what Dustin's been doing, but he's the creator and the host of TLOP, which is the Loan Officer Podcast. And he's also the founder and CEO of TLOP's Originator Coaching, which you're going to get a sneak peek at today. The Loan Officer Podcast is the most popular in the mortgage industry with over 1 million downloads every year. So pretty renowned. And the coaching program itself was just recently named the #1 value in business coaching and sales training for mortgage professionals. So you're getting a really good taste of what TLOP does and what Dustin brings to us. Previously, Dustin helped grow Waterstone Mortgage to over 10 branches and 100 plus associates before he moved on to Lower Mortgage, where he served as the SVP of Growth and also divisional sales leader. He's a certified mortgage banker, CMB, which is the mortgage industry's highest designation, and he's a graduate of the MBA's Future Leaders Program. So he started as a loan originator back in 2004, and he's personally funded over 2,000 transactions since. So, quite a remarkable resume. We're excited to have you, Dustin. Welcome, and let's go ahead and turn it over to you.
Well, Jerry, thank you so much, and good afternoon or good morning. I guess good morning if you're in California, good afternoon if you're with me in Florida or anywhere else on the East Coast. And I appreciate the introduction. I think what's most important for y'all to know, for those of you that we haven't had a chance to meet yet, or maybe you haven't tuned into the podcast, I'm a mortgage dude through and through. Like, this is what I do, it's what I love. I grew up in this industry. I still remember it like it was yesterday, being a lost, scared, broke rookie loan originator. But I also still remember what it's like walking across stages and picking up my trophy for President's Club and being whisked off to a place like Costa Rica or Cancun to celebrate being a top producer. I've lived through the booms and the bust. I lived through the financial crisis. I had to rebuild. I've been a producing branch manager, a producing area manager. I've been a divisional executive, and I've worked at multiple companies throughout my 20 plus year career. I share all of that just to let you know I'm one of you, right? If you're feeling lost, broke, and scared because you're newer in the industry, please know you're not alone and you're not abnormal, right? If you're a top producer or you're running a big team or a big region, you're also not alone. You're amongst company of peers with me today. And what I get to talk about today is what I call my holy grail, right? So the holy grail is our version of a daily success tracker. And I'm curious if maybe Alana can, there we go. Well, there we go. We're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Give me 1 second. I think I'm on a bit of a delay. There we go. All right. So what I'm talking about today is literally my promise to the industry. If you can take what I'm going to give you, and I'm going to give it to you both in a presentation, but you're also going to have a document provided to you, one in which I'm going to ask that you print it and you put it on your desk daily and you follow it, or you save it to your desktop and you pull it up on one of your monitors. Or I've even had $100 million producer who uses Monday.com as his CRM actually take this blueprint and embed it into his CRM. And now he and his 10 LOs all follow it daily. But the point of today's virtual masterclass is I want to walk you through what you need to do daily, weekly, monthly in order to guarantee success, right? It's all about simplifying the basics and giving you not just what to do. I think many of us know what to do. It's how to do it or why it's important. So we call our daily success tracker the blueprint. And this virtual workshop is the Originators Blueprint for Success. As I go, please ask questions. I think both Alana and Jerry are going to monitor the chat box. I will try to take a pause midway through the presentation to answer questions. Then obviously I'll leave time at the end of the masterclass to answer questions. And I want you all to ask any question, like literally any question you may have. If you're brave enough to answer it, I promise you I'm going to be brave enough to answer it. The only thing I ask is it's the world according to me based on my real world experiences. It doesn't mean I shouldn't be fact checked, and it doesn't mean that you can't disagree, right? I'm all for diversity of thought. And when you have diversity of thought, you're going to have disagreement. And just because I may explain something a certain way, it doesn't mean that's the only way, or heck, it doesn't even mean that that's the best way. It's just a way that I know works. Therefore, I'm teaching it. Before we jump into too much, I want to lay some groundwork, and I'm gonna have to just take a little pause because I think I'm trying to get my screen to flip on me. There we go. There's a quote I found when I was preparing for this workshop, and I wish I knew who this lady, Betsy Ramser Jaime, is, but I don't. So she's probably not that famous. However, her quote is spot on. We often overestimate how often we do things, but tracking eliminates this weakness. When we track, We just have the facts, not our subjective reflections. So let me walk you through what this means to us as mortgage professionals. We got to know our numbers, and numbers don't lie. However, if we don't track it, it never happened. Think about that. If I don't track it, it never happened. Now, obviously, something did happen. However, tracking is our clear way of making sure that we are prioritizing what works, we're prioritizing what's important. And tracking doesn't just work for sales professionals like us who are trying to move the needle, right? We're trying to either level up, break through a barrier, get to a new milestone in our career, but it all starts with knowing what to do, tracking it, and understanding how to do it, and most importantly, why it's important. All things I'm going to be covering today. But tracking works if you're trying to become a healthier person. You track what you eat, you track how you exercise. If you're trying to become a more financially fit person, you track what you spend. So much of what we have to do in our daily business is we have to track our sales activity. So the first thing that I want to discuss with y'all is the top 10 activities that originators must track. The number one activity, like I can simplify your day to this one thing. I need you to have 10 meaningful conversations per day. 10. Now, if you're brand new, this is something we coach over at TLOP's Originator Coaching. I'd actually teach you just to dominate the ones in the very beginning. Dominating the ones to me means it's your job to get a lead. One person a day you need to talk to that either wants a home loan or needs a home loan, because not everybody wants one, but they need one, right? Most of us dream about paying off our mortgage. So the thing that we sell, right, the people we service don't necessarily always want what we have, but they definitely need it. So if you're brand new, I'm going to teach you how to dominate the ones. One lead a day, schedule one appointment a day, and go on one appointment a day. If you did those three things every single day, and that was your sole focus, I promise you, you would be successful. And many of you may be 3 years into your career, 7 years into your career, but you probably need to go back to the basics and think about how dominating the ones would apply to you. Are you talking to one person a day that needs or wants a home loan? Are you scheduling an appointment a day with somebody that can refer you consistent home buyers or homeowners? And are you going on a meeting with somebody that can refer you consistent? Right? And the people I'm talking about, realtors, builders, more realtors, financial advisors, and more realtors. Right? If you're a loan originator or a mortgage broker, right, a large percentage of your business needs to be business that's referred into you. And the best referral sources are realtors, builders, and financial advisors. But when you're looking at my blueprint, which again, I'm going to give you all at the end of this workshop, when you're looking at the blueprint, the number one thing that I want you to track is, did you have 10 meaningful conversations? And your next question should be, well, Dustin, what's a meaningful conversation? Cool, I got your back. A meaningful conversation can be summed up 3 ways. Is the person I'm speaking with somebody that's going to need or want a home loan? If the answer is yes, then you had a meaningful conversation. It doesn't mean that the credit score wasn't 480. It doesn't mean that they didn't have a bankruptcy yesterday. It just means that they reached out to you and they wanted or needed a home loan. The second way is the person I'm speaking to somebody who can refer me consistent business. Well, if it's a realtor, builder, or financial advisor, divorce attorney, then yes, that is somebody who can refer you consistent business. It was meaningful as long as you slipped in my favorite 4 words. And you may want to write these 4 words down because they'll make you millions of dollars in commissions over your career. Who do you know? If you can ask, who do you know? Who do you know that's looking to buy a house? I'd love to get them on my calendar. Who do you know that also is looking to purchase their first home? I'd love an introduction, right? Who do you know? then if you're talking to them on the phone, is a meaningful conversation. The third type of meaningful conversation is the person you're talking to, someone who can refer you to people who can refer you. And let me walk you through that because that gets a little confusing, right? People who can refer you to people who can refer you. Well, if I'm talking to a title agent or an escrow agent might not have much opportunity to refer me a home buyer. However, they can refer me to a realtor. They can refer me to an investor. They can refer me to a home builder. As long as I hit them with those four magical words of who do you know, then that made it a meaningful conversation. So if you ever want to dominate your day and just about guarantee your success, the very first thing I want you to do is have 10 meaningful conversations per day. But here's the deal. If y'all are just sitting back, praying and hoping that the phone rings, probably not going to work unless you're already established as a top producer. Like I'll tell you straight up, 2004, when I got into the industry, took me 5 months before I closed my first loan. I starved for 2 years. Now, my second full year in the business, no, I funded 119 units. But those first 2 years, they were difficult. One of my biggest driving motivations back then was I wanted to be the most well-known, the most connected, the best at marketing, that I then could one day put my feet up on my desk, play online poker, and answer the phone when it rang. That just shows a little bit how naive I was because the world doesn't quite work that way. So you still have to, regardless of where you are in your career, you have to be proactive with your outbound attempts. But it doesn't say that you can't have inbound, right? Top producers have probably established themselves and they do get enough inbound phone calls where they can have the majority of their meaningful conversations. People who are not yet top producers have to do more proactive activities in order to achieve the 10 meaningful conversations. The second thing I'd want you to do, I want you to follow theme days. Now, theme days are not new to Dustin. They're not new to, I didn't invent these. They were taught to me, right? I'm not the only coaching company that teaches them. But do you know why I teach them? Because they work. I teach them because they're true. I was once told by a coach, if it's true, it's not new. And if it's new, it's not true. So theme days are not new, but I promise you they're true. They are so true that think about this. My sister, the school teacher, follows theme days. She teaches elementary school. Do you think my sister wakes up on a Tuesday and says, gosh, I think I'm going to teach history today, then we'll do art? No, my sister says, oh, it's Tuesday. On Tuesdays, we do social studies. The kids go to PE, and then we do science, right? Math and reading is on Mondays and Wednesdays, right? Anybody that's ever been in elementary school, or you know someone who teaches elementary school, you know that elementary school curriculum follows a theme. You don't just willy-nilly figure it out. Right now, I'm 2 weeks away from competing in my fourth Ironman 70.3 triathlon, right? So my race is on December 14th. So needless to say, I've been in hardcore training. Do you think I woke up today and said, I guess today I'll maybe go to the pool and swim some laps? No, I swam yesterday because yesterday was Monday. My theme on Mondays is swimming. My theme on Tuesdays is indoor cycle. My theme on Wednesdays is a track workout. Thursdays for indoor cycling. Friday is for a lake swim. Saturday is my next big bike ride, and Sundays when I run my long miles. How about my garbage collector? Do you think they just randomly roll into my neighborhood and say, I think we're going to do some recycling today? No, recycling's on Wednesday, right? Yard trash is on Tuesday, and the regular garbage is Monday and Friday, right? I know that, so I can put my trash out on the curb, and they know that. So when I teach theme days, please know it's not unique to our industry, and it's definitely not unique, but it works. So if you are working for one of my branches back in the day, which, by the way, recently, if you didn't hear, I went all in on the mortgage industry. So I no longer work for any one mortgage company, right? I've worked for the Countrywides and the Bank of Americas and the Waterstones and the Lowers, but for the next 8 years, I want to work for you all. I want to work for the entire industry. I want to coach, consult, and offer career advisory is what I'm looking to do. But if you were being coached by me, or back in the day, if you worked in one of my branches, we followed theme days. And these are what these theme days are. On Monday, you are calling realtors who know you and you know them, right? These are realtors you've already met with, you've already communicated with. There's only 3 reasons why you're calling realtors, y'all. 3. And you can write down these 3. You're either calling them to ask for a lead, you're calling them to invite them to an event, or you're calling them to meet with them because maybe it's been a hot minute since you last connected and you want to touch base before next year, and maybe you want to do some business planning with them. Tuesday, my theme, and by the way, these are my outbound phone calls that I was talking about. If I'm trying to have 10 meaningful conversations, I need to make sure they happen by doing outbound proactive activity. So Monday is when I'm calling those realtors that I know and already know me. Tuesday, I'm doing my status updates. Basically, I'm looking at my pipeline, what's closing in the next 30, 60, 90 days. Every single person that's a part of that transaction, buyer, buying agent, seller, title company, all need a phone call going out from me to them to give them an update. But please know, these are not update calls. These are sales calls, because every single one of those people, I'm going to hit them with my 4 favorite words. Who do you know? Hey, Jerry, I love working with you. We have the Smith family wrapped up. Closing is going to happen early. Things look great. Jerry, who's next, man? I love working with you so much. We should do this every month, right? That's my way of asking Jerry, the buying agent, to give me another referral. Listing agent, I'm asking them to meet with me. Title company, I'm asking them to refer me to other realtors, or I'm asking the title company what transactions are they currently have in their pipeline that are maybe blowing up because finance is going sideways. And then the buyer themselves, I'm letting them know how much I appreciate them and how much I've loved working with them, reminding them that their reticular activator is turned on, and they're probably very aware of other people who are also looking to buy a house, and who do they know that they could connect me with so I can give them the same type of consultative attention that I just provided to them. So that's what I'm doing on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, that's when I'm reaching out to my past clients and my circle of influence. If you don't have a lot of past clients, that's okay. You have a circle of influence. You can treat your circle of influence as if they are already clients. And for me, I'm conducting annual mortgage reviews. Not enough people recognize and realize that the mortgage we did for them, or someone else did for them, was nothing more than a financial instrument to help them leverage debt to purchase real estate. And it was the best loan at the time that A, they qualified for, but B, what was matched their financial needs, wants, and goals. Well, the market has changed. Maybe their financial needs, wants, and goals have changed. You should be checking in with every past client and everyone in your circle of influence, and at least offering them the peace of mind that their current debt instrument that they use to purchase their real estate is still the best loan. And if it's not, you'll be able to give them options that could help them advance financially by maybe obtaining a new home loan. Thursdays, y'all, these are the days that we reach out to people we don't know. Suck it up, buttercup, and make your calls. That's what today is. Put on some music, stand up, get yourself your favorite frappuccino or smoothie or coffee product, Monster Energy drinks, and crank out calls to people that don't know you and you don't know them, for the sole purpose of scheduling a meeting. And then Friday's the day that I reach out to everyone else that isn't a client or a realtor, right? These could be my financial advisors, my divorce attorneys. Maybe it's the HR manager at the local university who is constantly referring me new employees, like professors and college athletic coaches who are transferring in, right? That's the day that I'm proactively reaching out to them. So the second thing you need to do, you need to follow theme days. Theme days take out all the guesswork. Theme days remove decision-making so that you can focus on doing your job. And what's your job? To get a lead. Your job's to market. Your job is to network. Y'all, please understand, we have a job to do and we have the work that comes with our job. Our job is networking, prospecting, marketing, and generating leads. The work is what we get to do after we've completed our job. The work is pre-qual, structure, calculating of income, right? That's the work, but it's our job to get a lead. The third thing that I would have you track is online networking. That's how active are you on social media? Y'all, I could do a whole entire class on this alone, and maybe A&D will bring me back to do another masterclass where we just focus on this. All I can tell you is online networking is no different than traditional networking. And he or she with the most friends wins, right? Maybe you've heard your net worth is the sum of your network, right? You want more money, know more people. So what's the easiest and best way to stay top of mind with people who already know you, as well as to meet strangers? Well, it's online. Like it just is. I mean, that's where dating happens. That's where shopping happens. This is where professional networking happens. I would teach you my formula 30, 10, 5, 5, 3, 1. That's the magic formula for dominating online networking, or some people call it social selling. It's 30 minutes a day. That's all I need you to do, 30 minutes a day. You're not following the Epstein papers. You're not checking out what's happening in the college football playoffs. No, you're there to work. These are work hours, and you're there to expand your network or stay top of mind with men and women who already know you. So what are you going to do? 10 times you're going to like, heart, or emoji someone else's post. Now, that's no different than walking into a Women's Council of Realtors event or a BNI type event and smiling and making eye contact at people, right? You're probably not going to move the needle too much, but you're at least going to acknowledge them, and they're going to know that you exist if you smile and make eye contact. 5 times, I want you commenting on other people's posts. Why is that? Because again, if you're at a traditional networking event, that comment is engaging in small talk. Now, 5 times, I need you to actually send a connection request or a friend request, or if you're on Instagram, follow someone. Why is that? Because if I went to a networking function in person, I'd have to go shake hands with somebody and introduce myself, probably wearing a name tag, right? You sending 5 connection requests is you expanding your network. Now, 3 times, I need you to slide into the DMs. Sliding into the DMs is no different than it was me, it was Jerry, it was Chris, and it was Alana, and we were all in a small group conversing. But then Jerry and I broke off, and we really started having a one-on-one conversation. Sliding into someone's DMs is taking the conversation from a group setting into a one-on-one setting. And then finally, I need y'all posting 1 time a day. You have to. You just do. And if you post about work every day, stop. 3 personal posts, 1 that references or reminds people what you do for a living. And the reason why you have to post daily, this is how you get people to know you. And if they know you, there's a chance they'll like you. Here's a little secret. Not everyone likes you. But guess what? That's okay. You can't be all things to all people, right? And all people can't be all things to you. But if you're posting, the likelihood of someone getting to know you skyrockets. That means the likelihood of them liking you skyrockets. And if they know you and like you, there's a chance some will trust you. If they trust you, they'll either meet with you or they'll refer you. So we have to post daily. So the third thing that you're tracking when you're following this blueprint for success is, did you spend 30 minutes online intentionally networking? Now, number 4 is pretty easy. How many face-to-face meetings did you have? 3 a week. That's the minimum standard, 3 a week. Typically, it's with someone who can refer you or somebody who can connect you to referral sources, right? We call it belly to belly, face to face, break bread. Relationships are still made in person. I've yet to find someone who got married and started a family all online. Nope, those 2 things typically happen in person. Real relationships still happen in person. Oh my God, John Party wants to know if he can get the recording if that's the John Party, I will come and do this personally for you at your ranch in California, only if you give me VIP tickets to your next show. All right, sorry about that. I just saw a quick webinar chat there, Jerry, and I got sidetracked. John Party is one of my favorite country music artists. Probably not that John Party, but nonetheless, he's on the call. Networking events. So the fifth thing I want you to track. I talked about online networking. Cool, right? Online networking way easier than in-person networking in terms of like, I don't have to get dressed. I don't have to drive across town. I don't have to shave. I don't have to shower. I don't have to spend money. Um, but it still doesn't take away the fact that you still need to be out face to face. So pick two and go to them monthly. It could be if you have real producers in your market, it could be BNI, it could be Chamber of Commerce, it could be Women's Council of Realtors, it could be the Home Builder Association, or it could be some local real estate investor meetup. But when you're looking at what it takes to be a dominant top producer in your local market, these are the activities top producers do. They attend networking events. The sixth thing, and this is pretty darn important to all of us, we got to track all new leads. If you are not tracking your leads, you can't tell me a whole lot about your business, right? You can't tell me whether or not your lead quality is good, whether or not your lead referral sources are referring you the right way. You can't even tell me your lead conversion. It's very difficult to do proper business planning if you don't know your numbers. So you need to track your leads. Sidebar, you can track your leads on an Excel spreadsheet. You can track your leads on a spiral notepad. You don't have to have some fancy CRM to start lead tracking. Do fancy CRMs help? Sure. For my coaching community, I'm literally teaching them right after this how I grew something from 40 million a year to 40 million a month because of my CRM, right? So fancy CRMs and fancy technologically enabled programmatic campaigns can 100% take your business to new heights. However, for this, we're dominating the basics. I just need you to track all new leads. This is done daily. You need to know your lead conversion ratio. You have to understand the difference between good, bad, and ugly leads. And I need you setting weekly lead generation goals. So here's how this looks. Your lead conversion should be somewhere between 15 and 25%. Okay, if you're at 25% lead conversion, you are crushing it. Because most of us are sitting at about 18%. And what's a lead? Because this is good to quantify. A lead is you have their first name, their last name, their phone number, and their email. If you have that information, it's a lead. Okay, at least in the world where I came from, the world according to Dustin Owen, that's what a lead is. A lead doesn't necessarily mean that they applied on my website or that I pulled their credit. A lead means I talked to Jerry. Jerry told me about John Party. Jerry gave me John's phone number and his email address, and it's now up to me to relentlessly pursue John until John has a conversation with me, right? I say relentlessly pursue all these till they buy, die, or get a restraining order on me. That's, again, for a whole separate masterclass. But knowing your lead conversion, I will tell you, most of you should be around 15 to 20%. If you're below 15%, then you have to figure out what is your approach, right? What is your cadence? How's your performance? Or what is the quality of your lead sources, right? Poor lead sources means you have poor lead conversion. That tells me you need to get new lead sources because the ones you have, although they're producing leads, are not the leads that we want because they don't convert. Understanding the difference between good, bad, and ugly leads happens this way. A bad lead is simply this. They're referred to you the right way, but they don't qualify. Okay, it's a bad lead. We all get our fair share. Sales is a numbers game. A good lead is someone who's referred to you the right way, and they do qualify. And what does the right way sound like? It sounds like this. hey, Jerry, I need you to call Dustin Owen over at TLOP Lending. He is a local lender that I trust to be accountable to you and I, make himself available to you and he's going to help make sure that we get our offers accepted because he's going to advocate on your behalf. I also love the way that Dustin and his team operate because they don't believe that there's a one size fits all mortgage. They tailor make all of their mortgage solutions to match every home buyer's specific financial needs, wants, and goals. And the better part about Dustin is he's always going to make sure you're given 2 or 3 options so you can choose the loan option that works best for you. Right? Dustin's the guy I trust. That's how I like to be referred. Okay. So if I'm referred that way and the person qualifies, that's a good lead. If I'm referred that way and the person doesn't qualify, that's a bad lead. An ugly lead can very well have $1 million in the bank, have an 800 credit score, have a 15 DTI, but they were told, hey, give Dustin a call and have him whip up an LE for you to see if he can do it cheaper. Okay, ugly lead. I don't want that lead. Like, I want someone who's using me because I'm a great service provider, because I'm an advisor, because I'm accountable, because I proactively communicate, because I'm going to advocate on their behalf, because I give them options. So I need to eliminate ugly leads and get way less bad leads than I do good leads. These are all things that I coach my students when they go through one of our coaching programs. And then lastly, you have to set weekly lead generation goals because let's say you want to close 10 loans a month, or let's say it's 5 loans a month. Well, how many leads is that? Well, if you don't know your lead conversion, you won't be able to figure out how many leads. But if your lead conversion was 20%, then simply put, you need to go out and you need to get 25 leads, right? 25 leads, 20% means you're going to fund 5 loans a month. 5 loans a month is probably $18 to $20 million a year. You're making between $180,000 and $250,000 a year. High five. You're now a top 3% earner. The 7th thing that we need to track, and by the way, reminder, I have an entire document I'm going to give you all that you can do this at home on your own. We have to track how we follow up with all leads. Earlier I said, I relentlessly pursue all leads until they buy or die. Okay, this is the number one value I can bring to realtors, and it costs me no money. Zero. No money to relentlessly pursue all leads till they buy, die, or potentially get a restraining order against me because they're tired of me calling them, texting them, and emailing them, asking them if they've given up on buying a home, if they've given up on saving thousands on a new mortgage, right? So I make my lead follow-up calls daily. For me, they're daily. I don't have one day that I do them. I do them every day. I created and I follow a system. It's the 31-day prospect follow-up system where every day I start with the 3 or the 9 files, names, prospects, borrowers, TBDs, whatever you want to call them, that I need to call. I make the phone call to them. Then I call the referring agent. Again, remember, what am I trying to do? What was the number one thing I said we had to do? We have to have 10 meaningful conversations per day. Well, if I'm dominating my lead prospect follow-up, then I'm bringing value to my realtors. I'm potentially allowing myself to talk to someone who A, needs or wants a mortgage, who B, I can ask those 4 words, who do you know? And then I get to call the agent who originally referred me and give them an update. And while I have them on the phone, I can ask them, who do they know? Hey, it sounds like Jerry and his wife are going to put buying a house on hold until after the holidays. Hey, who do you know that would love to maybe buy a house before New Year? I'd love to get them on my schedule. And then just understand in general, the fortune is in the follow-up. When people ask me, hey, Dio, hey, Dustin, what's something that you wished you did better earlier on in your career? Number 1 is database management. Number 2 is prospect follow-up. I watched a great friend of mine, a business partner of mine for 16, 17 years, outproduce me. And I will tell you, he is not a better salesman than me. He is not a better presenter than me. He's a great presenter, by the way. He's a really good salesperson, but I would not tell you he's better than me. I may tell you he's slightly smarter than me. I'd give him that one. I'd give him that leg up. But one thing he did better than me that allowed him to outproduce me, he was relentless with his follow-up game. And it wasn't fancy. It was literally, hey, Jerry, this is Mike. Hey, just checking in. You guys buy a house yet? How's the market treating you? I mean, that was the conversation. Didn't have a fancy script, wasn't overly eloquent on those calls, but he did it at such a methodical, deliberate pace that he always outproduced me and therefore always generated more leads because he did this better than me. So two things I wish I did better. First one, database management. Second is dominating prospect follow-up. Number 8 is very similar to tracking your leads. I want you to track your credit pools. There's 2 measures of success in our business. It's one thing to get a lead. It's another thing to get them to actually allow you to pull credit on them. Because pulling credit is them taking that next step of engaging with you and your service. And I have learned throughout my career, getting a bunch of leads that don't convert into credit pools is not good for my business. I've also learned that there was months where I didn't get that many leads, but every single lead converted to a credit pool, which meant I had way more quality than quantity that month. So I wasn't as mean to my team and I on those months because I recognized that although our lead game was soft, our credit pool game was through the roof. And I have learned that when I track credit pools, that it ends up being the number one leading indicator for future income. Like if I pulled your credit, there's a 50% chance I'm doing your loan. Whereas if I just have your name, your phone number, your email address, there's a 20% chance I'm going to do your loan. Now, the reason why it's 50% is because, look, some people aren't going to use me. It happens. Some people don't qualify. It happens. And some people end up getting frustrated with the process and they go back to renting. It happens, right? But if I can track my credit pools as well as track my leads, I now have 2 different ways of gauging how successful I'm going to be in the future. You know what we don't track, y'all? We don't track units and volume funded. Think about that. Wait, you have a daily, weekly, monthly success tracker and we're not tracking units and volume funded? Nope. Why? Well, because they tell me how much and how hard I was working 90 days ago. They don't tell me anything about the future. And although I can learn from the past, right, I need to be focused on the future. So tracking my leads and tracking my credit pools, they are the number 1 and number 2 leading indicators for my future income. Now, 9 and 10 are very specific to me. Like if you were to have ever worked on one of my teams inside of one of my branches, or you come and you get coached by me or by a member of my TLOP coaching community staff, we believe in feeding the brain, feeding the soul, feeding the mind. We do so by reading. By reading just 10 pages a day, 15 minutes a night, you end up reading one book a month, 12 books a year. And what I love about reading is, as Harry S. Truman stated, not all readers are leaders, but all leaders are readers. If you want to be a leader, whether you're leading yourself, leading your production team, or leading a branch, we all are leaders. Good leaders are also readers. Bill Gates, reading is still the main way that I both learn new things and test my understanding. So Bill Gates has this quote. Eleanor Roosevelt has a quote that I didn't use, but I absolutely love. And I'm going to paraphrase it because I don't know the quote by heart. But she basically states in this quote that reading to her allows her to live 100 lifetimes. Because without reading, the only lessons and memories she has are those of her own. But when she picks up a book, she gets to learn the lessons and live the lives of the men and women who authored those books. And Warren Buffett, one of the smartest and richest human beings to ever exist, he reminds all of us that everybody can read what I read. It's a level playing field, basically saying, I'm not special. I'm not unique. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska. I still drive a used car, right? If you want to know what I know, it's all available, right? Will Smith's character in Good Will Hunting would tell you he can get a Harvard education for $3.22 in late fees at the public library, right? Reading, if I'm looking at my career and my life, the first 40 years of my life, I was not a reader. The last 7 I have been, and I love the last 7. So I would have you tracking your daily reading, just like I would have you tracking your physical activity. Are you getting outside, preferably? I know some of you are living in cold weather climates and you don't want to go outside right now. But are you getting 50 minutes of physical activity in at least 4 times a week? And y'all, we're not doing this for big muscles, right? We're not even probably doing this to make our belly fat go away, right? If you want your belly fat to go away, you earn your abs in the kitchen. You don't earn your abs in the gym, okay? It's why I am easily 10 pounds overweight as a hardcore triathlete because I can't put down the sangria, I can't put down the IPAs, I can't put down the chips and guac. You know, my daughter went out this weekend and she bought a whole bunch of peppermint bark. I couldn't put that down while watching college football. But physical activity is more than the muscles. It's about what it does for our brain, what it does for our heart, what it does for our lungs, right? So it's been proven. Physical activity sharpens mental clarity, stimulates creativity, it reduces stress, it improves your mood, and believe it or not, it doesn't take energy away, but it gives you energy. So when I'm looking at a daily, weekly, monthly success plan, we are reading 10 pages a day or 15 minutes a day, and we are exercising at least 4 times per week for 50 minutes per exercise routine. So this right here, y'all, this is the blueprint. This is what it looks like. So I will be sending this, or Jerry or Alana will be sending this from AD. But when you look at it, you'll see at the top, and I'll use my cursor for you. Monday through Friday, these are your theme days. They're on here for you. The first 10 lines you see in pink, these are your 10 meaningful conversations. Whoops. Right below it, here's where you can track spending 30 minutes online networking. Right below it, you can track how many leads you followed up with, how many new leads did you get, how many credit pulls did you achieve. Next up is, did you exercise that day? If so, for how long and what did you do? Did you read how many minutes or how many pages? And then in the green is how many face-to-face meetings and who did you have them with and what date? And then in the blue is, did you attend a networking function that week? So my ask of y'all is, if you want to see your business break through a barrier, level up, if you want to go next level, take this, commit to it for the next 12 weeks and complete it to 80% or better. And I promise you, after 12 weeks, you will see such drastic improvements. Your only question will be, why did I not do this sooner? Why did I not start doing this earlier? And finally, one of my favorite authors of one of my favorite books. So James Clear wrote the book Atomic Habits. If you haven't read it and you want to get into reading, make this your first book that you read. But James Clear reminds all of us, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your preparedness. Daily success trackers like our blueprint allows you to always stay prepared. So therefore you will rise, and when you fall, you're falling to a level that is still above where you are today in your business. If you all are newer to maybe me, you're newer to my platform, you've never heard of the podcast, awesome. I'm so happy you came and hung out with us. Here's what I'd ask of you. Connect with me on LinkedIn if you haven't done so already. If we can't connect, please be sure to at least follow me. I am super accessible on LinkedIn. Like I've already received 2 messages today from loan officers. I've already replied to them today. Follow me on Instagram. I'm at the Loan Officer Podcast. LinkedIn and Instagram, by far, my 2 favorite jams. Go to our website, tloponline.com, and sign up for our newsletter. If you sign up for our newsletter, you'll be invited to one free masterclass, a call just like this every single month. And you can do so just by going to our website. And finally, go to our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is, yes, where you can watch the podcast, but I post more content than just the podcast on that YouTube channel. So you can search YouTube for TLOP, the Loan Officer Podcast. I would tell you, if you looked up TLOP Entertainment, because there you'll get Coach's Corner, you'll get Mortgage School, you'll get Talk Mortgage to Me, plus you'll get the podcast. So I love it when people subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't yet checked out the podcast, I always tell people to start with episode 502. If you started with 502, it's probably going back just 1 year in our catalog, but it's a great taste of what you've missed out on. And again, you can listen to the podcast, Spotify, Apple, Google, Stitcher, anywhere you can find Audible podcast, or you can watch it on YouTube. All of that is free to y'all. As my co-host, producer, co-founder, John Coleman says, if it's free, it's for me. And finally, if you want to scan this QR code, later this month, I'm doing a free masterclass on business planning. So today I taught you the daily, weekly, monthly success tracker, the blueprint for success. Later this month, we're going to be doing a free masterclass for every mortgage broker and loan officer out there who wants to attend, where I'm going to walk you through my proven methodology for business planning. On that note, Jerry, I'm going to kick it back over to y'all, and we're going to answer some questions.
So I have to tell you, the best question I think I heard is actually is audiobooks considered a physical activity or a reading activity?
Oh, how funny is
Tongue in
that? Well,
cheek,
I
but I
mean,
really
look,
like that.
if you want to stack, I would tell you to go on a stationary bike while listening to your audiobook, and I would give you credit for that. This isn't the 75 hard challenge. If it was the 75 hard challenge, no, you have to read. You have to actually put your eyes on those words on that Kindle or on that page. But no, if you're willing to listen to books while also exercising, what a great way to kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
I know that's a fantastic answer. I hadn't even thought about that. I just thought it was a little tongue-in-cheek kind of clever question,
Yeah.
but the answer is even better. That's fantastic. So, how can I get a workable copy of the blueprint? There's a great question. Maybe you could share.
Yeah.
You
Ask
talked
that
about.
question again. I'm sorry. I was reading a comment in
Oh,
the.
so someone's asking how they can get a workable copy of the blueprint for tracking.
Oh,
Um,
well,
yeah.
you A&D is going to be sending it out, but let me see if I can make this work real quick. I have it saved on my desktop, and I'm going to, well, let's do this. Um, I'm going to see if I can just slide it over. Oh, it says network disconnected.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
I'll
Yep.
answer this then. We are going to include a downloadable and printable version of the blueprint for all the participants today. So
Yes.
no worries there. When you get your copy of the recording and you get a copy of the slides, you'll also get a downloadable, printable copy of the blueprint. And that will hopefully be everything you need in the immediate future. Of course, you can reach out to Dustin and get some more handy blueprints and coaching tools as well.
Yeah.
But
And someone had
hopefully,
asked if you would have clicked that QR code. Oh, there we go. If you click the QR code, um, that's how you could register for the masterclass on business planning. I also just threw it into the chat box. So there's a link to where you can click that link or you can scan that QR code. And that link and that QR code will both take you to registering for the masterclass on business planning.
Okay, that's great. Okay, cool.
Do I have any other questions? I think I did appreciate John Party said he's the original because he was born first. And I think someone had also asked, do I need to have a ranch in order to get the recording? No, everyone gets the recording. But if you have a ranch with horses and you invite me out to that ranch so I can ride your horses and enjoy your property, I can probably do some of these presentations in person. So that way you don't have to just rely on the recording.
Awesome. That is it for the group questions that we had for you that so far. If anybody has any more, please throw them up there in the
Oh,
chat.
I love Q&A, y'all. It's my
Yeah.
favorite time. I tell people if you just gave me a stool, a bottle of water, and a microphone, and 100 people in an audience with good questions, that's my favorite way to perform or to present. And I try to remind everyone being shy is expensive. So man, if you have a question, fire away. Let's have some fun with it. Oh, you have a question in
Oh,
the
there are
Q&A?
some in, I'm sorry, I missed some in QA. My bad.
All right.
Melissa, let's start with you. Hey, Dio, this is great. Do you have a list of books you recommend?
Yes. Start with Atomic Habits by James Clear. Then move on to Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. When you're done with that, pick up Jocko's book, Extreme Ownership. And then if you need something that's a little bit more spiritual, maybe try out Untethered Soul. If you want something a little bit more edgy, check out The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. I think that's Mark Manson, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. I can't remember
Yeah.
who wrote Untethered Soul. And one of my favorite books, especially if you're like building a branch right now or you're building a company, um, Shoe Dog, which is like Phil Knight's memoir. Phil Knight was the founder of Nike. Oh, that was so topical and relevant for me. Reading that recently while we build out TLOP, I really like the universe put that book in my life at the right time. The first book was the first book was Atomic Habits by James Clear. I
All
have this
right.
boot camp that I put originators through, and part of their welcome box is the book Atomic Habits, and part of their homework is reading the book, and we discuss it over the 16-week boot camp. That's how important that book is to me, as both a practitioner as well as an educator. The last book, Gregory, was Shoe Dog. It's the story of Nike.
All right. Let's go to Matthew had a really good question here. And he says, I'm just going to read it to you. I find when I'm reaching out to realtors that they tend to fall into two buckets. One, they're new realtors who are
Mhm.
open to talk to me. Or two, they're established realtor who seems to already have lenders that they like to work with already. And they're not looking necessarily to take a flyer on what they perceive to be a new LO. How do you
Mhm.
recommend overcoming this to get your foot in the door with realtors?
Yeah. So, I mean, in general, don't be afraid of the new realtor as long as they're full time, professional, and in growth mode. If they're not full time, you don't mess with them. But if they're full time, professional, and in growth mode, like meet with them, pitch them, try to build a relationship with them. You never know, you could grow together. Now, the realtor is already established. When they throw up that smoke screen, I already have lenders. You have to be a good salesperson. And a good salesperson would say, Jerry, of course you do. Like, I tend to only work with realtors who already have other lenders because realtors who already have lenders are successful, professional, and full time. And Jerry, I'm not looking to disrupt any relationship you already have. What I'm looking to do is meet with you to look for ways that I can bring value. And by bringing value, what I really mean, Jerry, I want to find ways that I can help you sell more homes and make more money. There's a good chance that you have certain tools that are missing from your tool belt that if I were able to supply those tools, it would help you sell more homes and make more money. So, Jerry, all I'm asking for is a meeting so I can get to know you and your business better. And I can look for what tools you may be missing and decide whether or not I have those tools. And if I do, like it could end up bringing you thousands of dollars in additional commissions. Like, but then you have to, as the originator, you have to know what do tools look like, right? Sometimes tools are relentlessly pursuing leads till they buy or die because maybe their LO makes 2 phone calls and they give up. Maybe a tool, maybe a certain product you have at your disposal, and you can teach that realtor how to use that product to get more buyers off the fence, right? Maybe your tool is just being available Sunday at 9 p.m. and you being available at Sunday at 9 p.m. allow them to get that buyer to actually write the offer. And now because of it, they're going to let you do the loan, right? So ultimately, when someone says, I already have a lender, my response is, well, of course you do. Like every realtor I've ever worked with already has another lender. But the reason why I'm reaching out to you is not to disrupt what you already have. It's I want to add to what you already have. Like I'm auditioning to be a member of your team, even if that only means a couple referrals a year and a couple closings a year. That's what you're seeking. And then eventually, with the relationship being built, you'll try to slide in from the 3-hole to the 2-hole to maybe being the one and only.
All right, let's switch back to a question that was in the chat that I missed. How many open houses a week should I stop by as a new MLO?
So I love the open house challenge. I coach this, I teach it, I lived it myself. I would tell you that your open house strategy needs to be about the relationship you're looking to build and not about trying to find home buyers that need financing. So if there is a number, I think realistically you could do 3 on a Saturday because you're stopping by, you're introducing yourself, you're looking around for an opportunity to serve. An opportunity to serve would be, hey, I see you don't have snacks. I have some granola bars in my car. Hey, I see you don't have music. I have a small Bluetooth speaker. Hey, it was hard to find your open house. Would you like me to go blow up some helium balloons and hang them outside at the stop sign? Right? Like these are things that we're looking to do. But when you slide into an open house, you can do 3 on a Saturday. The key, though, and I know this isn't this lesson, the key is when you get in your car, you connect with them on social. Then on Monday, you follow up with them to see how the open house went. And you always have somewhere else you have to be. So, Jerry, I'm stopping by your open house. I'm walking in. I'm like, hey, Jerry, don't get up. Just another lender who also works weekends, stopping by to check in on you. Hey, man, how are things going? I'm in the area. I'm on my way to an appointment. I just want to check in. Hey, by the way, this is my contact information. I know you don't know me and I don't know you, but I'm around. If somebody comes in that has a question, right, hit me up. I will make myself accessible to you so I can answer their questions. Then I get in my car or my truck, find them on social, connect with them. Then on Monday, I'm making my phone call. Hey, Jerry, how did things go? Hey, I wish I had more time to hang out. I'd love to get to know you better. How about coffee this week or next? Do you like Tuesdays or Thursdays? I go in for the kill. The kill is scheduling a meeting. So for the person who asked it, I would tell you to work 3 open houses a week, but you shouldn't be at any of them more than 20 to 30 minutes. And you're on to the next because you're actually there to meet realtors you don't know. So you can follow up with them on Monday. So you can connect with them on social that weekend. And if you did that, y'all, anyone who hasn't worked open houses, imagine doing that 12 out of the next 16 weekends. You would have met 36 realtors. You would have connected with 36 on social, made 36 outbound phone calls to try to get, I don't know, 12 to meet with you. And of the 12 that met with you, what if half of them weren't worth your time? And of the half that were worth your time, let's say 3 of them didn't like you or you didn't like them. You still picked up 3 referral sources that you will close 2 loans a year with, which means you just picked up 6 extra transactions that'll pay you probably $24,000 to $30,000 a year in incremental commission. all because you're willing to hit 3 open houses. So spend 3 hours on a Saturday for 12 out of 16 weeks. Like, that's not bad ROI or ROT, return on time. If you're able to spend 3 hours times 12, which is 36 hours, in order to meet 36 people, to get 12 to meet you face to face, to get 6 that were worth your time, to get 3 that would refer you, right? 3 that refer you every year for the next 3, 5, 7, 10 years. And you can make an extra $24,000 to $36,000 a year just because you decided you were going to hit 3 open houses, 12 out of the next 16 weekends. So hopefully that answered that question and probably went down a rabbit hole of coaching people best practices on open houses.
That's okay. Great question, Preston. Thanks. And we'll have to make this the last one so we
Yeah, I
can kind
know.
of
I'm,
wrap it
I'm
up
sorry. I'm
here.
a little wordy
But
today.
so we have one last one from Maxime who asks, what is the best place to have face-to-face meetings?
Um, Honestly, anywhere you can get them. Now, I love coffee, right? So I'm going to try to get someone to meet me at a Starbucks. Someone else may like beer or wine at 4 o'clock after work. Other people invite them into their office. And then there's those that say, hey, I'd love to come by your office. When do you plan on being in there next? Right? It's all about making it more convenient for your target. So I give options. Do you like coffee in the morning or do you like drinks after work? If you'd like, we can meet at my office or we can meet at your office. Those are the my four go-tos. I try to stay away from lunch with strangers because lunch is expensive and lunch you constantly get interrupted by the waiter. Right? So I try to reserve lunch for either a whale that I finally landed a meeting with or somebody that I'm already engaged in a relationship. So it makes sense for me to spend the money. And it's going to be okay when the waiter interrupts us every 7 minutes to ask us if we need something.
All right. That's fantastic answer, by the way, because I would have thought lunch. And so that's a great
Yeah.
answer. So
And
all
then
the
someone just
more.
commented, do I have scripts? Yes. Yeah. For anyone who's a member of our coaching community, we have scripts on PDF. We have scripts of me video recorded doing them. And soon in 2026, we're going to be launching our $1 million scripts, which is a series of 10 training videos with downloadable resources that we're going to make available for purchase, whether you're in our coaching community or you're not. That right now is currently in post production. So we'll be launching it, probably advertising it in this month, but we'll be selling it starting in January.
Excellent. Great to know. All right. So we have a couple closing things we'd like to talk about. Once again, just to remind you, 80 Mortgage is a full service lender, and we encourage you to check us out if you're not already one of our partners. We'd love to have you. It's a super easy process. We have a lot of major non-QM enhancements coming down the line. Some are already in, and we have some great new programs that are in store as well. So I encourage you to come visit us. Um, we can go to the next slide. Couple things that we do have coming up as well. We do regular webinars at AD Mortgage, and we have a business partner orientation webinar next week. So if you're not a partner yet, it's super easy to become a partner. It doesn't take anything but a little bit of a time. And then you can attend our business partner orientation, where we get you all up to speed with AD Mortgage products, which are a very wide range to meet almost all of your lending needs, especially difficult scenarios and just challenging files. So once you do join, one thing I'd love to talk about is our AD Vantage loyalty program. We have an excellent loyalty program, and as soon as you become a partner, you'll be automatically enrolled in our loyalty program. Doesn't take any extra effort. All the info is right there. It's just a couple clicks, and you're in our loyalty program. One of the cool things about our loyalty program that I think separates us from a lot of different companies is that one, we reward you with points that you can then use to close loans, not just for cool merchandise, which we have the cool merch too, but you can use your points that you earn in the loyalty program to close more loans, which in turn earns you more points, which in turn allows you to close more loans. So it's a great positive cycle. And so if you're not already a partner with us, we encourage you to follow this QR code here and get you signed up, or you can take a look at our programs and meet up with one of our account executives by visiting our site or clicking on the QR code. But we really appreciate you coming in. It was wonderful to meet with Dustin and have him do the presentation. I know he had to drop out real quick, but fantastic speaker, and he really is a gem in the industry. So we're glad that we could connect you with him, and I hope you all enjoyed it. One last reminder, please, if you could complete the survey that you'll get at the end, and we'd like to hear what your thoughts are about the presentation, about the webinar in general, and just get some positive feedback from you. So please, it really helps us out because we want to make these as good as possible and as valuable as possible for the amount of time that you all are spending. And that's the goal here. So if you could help us out with the surveys, that would be fantastic. But thank you very much, and appreciate you all coming. And we will see you hopefully at one of our next webinars.